I'd like to give my answer to the question The Daily Show asked Peter Schiff and then deceptively edited his answer. Give me a picture of a person whose work would be worth $2 an hour. Think of someone who probably hasn't made the best choices in life. He partied in high school and barely passed. He goofed around instead of going to college. Maybe he got in with a bad crowd and ended up serving some jail time. He might have even gotten into drugs and had to clean himself up. So here he is, no education, no work experience, no references, trying to turn his life around. He needs someone to take a chance on him. And make no mistake, anyone who hires him would be taking a chance, with a criminal record, a drug history, no information at all about what kind of worker he is. With a minimum wage at $10.10 or even $7.25, any job he applies for is going to have dozens if not hundreds of other people applying for it. People who don't have criminal records. People who don't have a history of using drugs. People with much better work history and references. People who have a better GPA on their record, or even a college education, even if it's just 2 years at a community college. Really now, who would you hire? Don't even try to lie and say you'd be nice to him and hire him. You know you wouldn't. You'd hire one of the dozens of more qualified candidates, and if you didn't, you'd be a complete idiot, and if that's at all indicative of how you run your business, you won't be in business much longer. But what if there were no minimum wage? What if he had the ability to undercut the competition? All those other guys are demanding $7 an hour, but he'll work for just $2. Now don't you have more of an incentive to hire him? To take that chance? After all, you can always fire him if it doesn't work out, and you haven't lost that much money in the process. So you hire him, and a month or two later, when you realize how valuable he is, because he really has turned his life around and he's actually a pretty good employee, you're going to want to give him a raise to keep him. Otherwise, your competition will snatch him up for $3 or $4 an hour. And after a year or so, he'll be making a wage very close to what other people doing the same job are making. Here's a dirty little secret about the minimum wage. It's actually very rare for someone to stay on it for very long. Every year, there's X% of the workforce making the minimum wage. And it's not much. I don't think it's ever been above 5%. Even if you just look at fast food jobs or whatever, right now I think it's more like 3%, which itself debunks the statist argument. If employers are all greedy and will only pay people the bare minimum, why isn't that number much larger? But here's the effect I'm talking about. Each year, 3% of workers may be making minimum wage, but it's a different 3% each year. Because it's mostly young people entering the workforce for the first time, or people re-entering the workforce after an absence. Which is why you have more women working minimum wage, because in our society, it's usually the women who take a year or two off when there's a new baby in the house. But by the next year, they'll have gotten a raise. And so, by and large, minimum wage jobs actually represent new jobs that are being created. So our guy just needs someone who will take a chance on him for a few months so he can get himself into that position, and the ability to undercut the competition is vitally important here, and that's exactly what minimum wage takes away from him. So to those of you who are still in favor of a minimum wage, this is my question for you. Why don't people like him deserve a second chance?